Good evening. So today's gonna be less of a verse, more of a, I guess, testimony. Um, in a way, I don't know the right word for it. Testimony it might not be it, but we'll just start and we'll see if the word comes to mind. So when I was first getting kind of back into the Bible, evolution, science, all that stuff kind of it racked my brain. How you gonna tell me that the world started and or the world, but everything started in 7 days, and then all the science is saying, started millions of billions of years ago. And at that point in time, one would be accurate if they were to say, oh, that's because science was your God. And I think that's a common mistake that a lot of people get into. The theory of evolution is just that, it's a theory. There's no concrete evidence for any of that. The theory of gravity is a theory. Yeah, we see gravity working, but we don't really have it all figured out, right? We don't have all the details fleshed out entirely, or else it wouldn't be the theory of gravity. It would just be gravity, right? We don't say the theory of aerodynamics. We kind of have that figured out for the most part. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is the theory of aerodynamics. But when it comes to the Bible, it just is. There's no theory to it. There's no, well, no, I think God made the earth 7 days. Or maybe it was like 7 God days. No, 7 days was what's stated. 7 days is what is the seventh day taking to rest. So it's really all created in 6 days. I bring that up because I feel like that's a real sticking point for some people. It was for me. I had this hard time getting past it. And every once in a while, my brain will try and go back and say, how old is the Earth? How do you know that this 10,000-year-old thing isn't correct? And all these other things. And it's like, it'll be hard for someone who kind of bases a lot of their information off of science. It'll be hard to kind of separate yourself from that. And I feel for you. I'm still doing it myself. But it's important because you can't believe half of the Bible, right? You can't believe portions of the Bible. You have to believe the whole Bible. And and also just kind of take this into account. We have a lot of theories when it comes to science. Man has a lot of theories. We also have a lot of, generalizations. God is very specific about the manner of how the earth, the sky, the planet, the plants, the animals, water, all that came into effect, sun. And so, this isn't I know the Bible is written in Old Hebrew, so translation-wise, it might not translate one for one, but I say that because, it goes from Hebrew, I think it's the Hebrew to Greek, and Greek to us, so there might be some translation um, problems there, and they say that you should read the literal definition of the Bible, like literal translation of Hebrew to what we read, whatever you read is, and then the emotional, which is like what the Bible is trying to convey feeling-wise. I need to get on that, but as of now, I have to one. But it is very clear on how the Bible is structured, how everything went down. We think the earth came about, like, humans think, 6 million years ago, whatever it is, 6 billion years ago. It's like, that's just a number, man. We don't actually have concrete evidence. God has given us concrete evidence here in the Word. Here in the Bible, it tells us. He lays it all out. There's no need to wonder. And so, I think it's gonna be hard for anyone who's like, who takes science as like the end-all be-all. I'm separating myself from it after you kind of realize that there's a lot of like gaps. There's a lot of gaps. A good gap that we can touch on that might help is missing links. The theory of evolution relies on a missing link. We found zero, man. Like there's no missing link, at least that I know, and at the date of this Bible being written, whenever this Bible was written, they didn't know. And this is a fairly new age-ish Bible. So, yeah, still no answer on the theory, not theory, of the missing link. And that's kind of what you need to have proof evolution exists. Otherwise, everything was created the way it was and died the way it was. And this whole like evolution thing, even dogs, for example, we believe, we evolved the dogs. Like, do we even have proof of that? We know that we can crossbreed for sure, right? Like, we got dogs and we can make them bigger, smaller, uglier, cuter. We can do that all day, but that's not evolution in the way that we're thinking. Like, that's not missing link. That's not dog to wolf, or excuse me, wolf to dog. That's just dog to dog. And so, this mindset that it's got to be there. It's got to be, the missing link is there. The Bible has not led me astray. It's not told me something that is wrong. It's not told me something that I couldn't believe, and therefore I'm going to believe the Bible over the sins of man. Like, men's sin is common. Men lie. We know that too. And I'm not saying everything they tell us is a lie, but there are proofs of people lying, saying this is the missing link, and then it not being the missing link, it being like a chicken with a head glued to a dinosaur fossil, like chicken bones glued to a dinosaur fossil sort of thing. And so it's going to be hard to parse through it all, but the Bible has been there and has been there for thousands of years, and it will continue to be there. And it is not changed. If you read one Bible and read the next, it'll be basically the same. Some translation issues, but it'll be basically the same. And why would you go and believe someone who told you that they think, that they know, but they think the planet was created around this much time ago with this things and all this other stuff, versus the Bible, which is God's word, and he's telling you, I know I created the planet and all that exists on it in 6 days. And it takes a lot off of you, that the wandering mind can be focused somewhere else. Because if you're consistently wondering, they're going to find the evidence for this, worry not. Worry not. The Bible has told you all you needed to know about that. And if you have any more questions, as I was told by my wife, whose father told her this, when you die, and when you die, and if you have any questions about the creation and, dinosaurs and all that, just ask God. He was there, he'll tell you. Ask Jesus Christ. He was there, he'll tell you. Otherwise, I wouldn't put much stock into it. It's not what's going to save you. And so I thought that'd be just like an important, lesson, I guess, about evolution versus creationism. Because there's evolutionists and there's creationists. We are, as Christian creationists, we believe in the creation of everything. God created everything perfectly, hence why it all works. Another one I think that might help with the swaying you away from evolution. I think this one's kind of like a coup de grace of ways. So, evolution, if it is to happen, everything needs to kind of evolve in a particular way, right? So, let's say we all came from amoebas or whatever they say. What came first? Your heart or your blood vessels? Or did they all spawn at the same time? And then where were your lungs in that picture? And then where was your liver in that picture? Where was your, all these things need each other. You can't just have blood and blood vessels spawn at the same time, right? The tubes need to be made for the blood to flow through them. And so what was the process of that being made? Well, are you saying that over millions and billions of years, an amoeba eventually slowly started making blood vessels, and then eventually started making blood cells, and then how did it procreate when it died without the proper usage of those organs? And so you see like the many gaps that are there. Something evolved to get to us right now, and albeit we're not I don't know, so we're not perfect, but we're not like 100% these like apex. We're apex in the sense of our intelligence, but our bodies, you know, they have their flaws. You might come up with some deficiencies or some flaws, and that's fine. You know, you work around those and you make yourself a better person for it. But you're telling me that evolution got us here, and not we were just created in God's image, right? That we were not just made by God. You know, you're going to convince me that it took millions of billions of years and a bunch of happy accidents for us to get to this point right now, versus God created it all and He made it all the right way the first time, right? It's just so much easier to believe, yeah, God created us, and we got here because He created us, and He made everything around us, and all things that we love to like are made by God, versus, yeah, so the universe didn't exist, Big Bang, boom, and then space was kind of just like this nebulous form, and then like, you know how many think like the amount of hoops you have to jump through to get to us is just astronomical. You're putting so much belief in rolls of the dice, because each one of those rolls needs to come up you, or else you don't happen, right? Oh, the Big Bang didn't happen, no one exists. Okay, Big Bang happens. Now the nebulous forms, this like nebulous form needs to move this way, or else Earth doesn't happen. Up didn't happen, Earth doesn't exist. You know, like there's way too many things you have to get to or get through to get to us. And so it's just so much easier to believe in the divine creator than it is to believe in whatever imaginary beliefs we have that things just randomly decided that everything will just start randomly happening. Because at that point, I mean, you might as well just go gamble, right? If you're that lucky that you're if you believe, you know, if there came to be by a bunch of random rolls of the dice, go randomly roll the dice a bunch of times, right? Eventually you'll win, right? That's how that works. It's not, you're not guaranteed to win. And so that's why I think it was important to kind of touch on this. I will be starting to do this. I'm trying to get a schedule going so that I have a better timeline for doing this. They might not all be like me reading straight Bible verses, but for the most part, they'll be Bible adjacent or Bible related. And so in this case, I think this is Bible adjacent / related. I'm gonna try and get a schedule in terms of days, and then for the most part, most of my readings will be where I'm at in the Bible, because I don't want to go back and then have to repeat something. Obviously, if I get to that point, that's fine. There's no harm in repeating the Bible. The Bible's good. The Bible is great. There's no reason not to repeat it. But I want to at least first go through it, you know, make sure I get everything, hit all the notes I think I need to hit before I start doing that. And so, we're going to be going with me, or everyone here will be going with me through the Bible. Right now I'm in Acts 15 is where I stopped. And so, the next time I'll probably be a little further, but I'm going to try and stagnate the days, so it'll probably be like Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I figured I'd try and do this a little more cohesively. I'm going to at least do 3 a day, or excuse me, 3 a week. I do these on separate days. And so I'm going to at least do 3 a week. A guaranteed one on Sunday, and Sunday I want to kind of read over like a great quote. I'm trying to get like a little schedule going. But other than that, I thank you all for listening. Again, just read the Bible. It is so much more cohesive than trying to believe some dude's theory who hasn't been fact checked, and he's just wrote it and said it was so, and so it's so. It's not how that works. God has said it was so. God has made it so. God has not failed us. And that's the reason that we have everything we have, from physics to the way that our airplanes fly. You know, like all that stuff. You dropping your ice cream to the sun that floats at the perfect distance away from Earth. It just makes sense. So, I love you all, especially my children. And you know, I'm gonna start including the wife in there. You know, I tell her I love her, but I'm gonna start including her in there. I love you all, especially the wife and children. And I hope you all find Jesus in your heart today. Have a great night, and God bless you.